I was at the gym just now, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, you sell real estate, don't you?" He's like, "I'd really like to buy a house right now, but I just can't afford it." So guys, this is the whole issue. Okay, why have home prices run up so much in Sarasota? It's because of domestic migration. We're down 80% since 2022 in domestic migration. We had 314,000 net new residents to Florida in 2022, and as of last year, we had 64,000 net new residents. So as low migration happens, in order to sustain the high home price, we have to rely on the local economy, which the average income here is like $78,000 for someone who lives in Sarasota. So you can see why prices are not going to continue to go up. So anybody that tells you otherwise is full of it, because without that constant influx of domestic migration, we're going to see lower home prices. Another thing that really irritates me, because I hear so many people say, well, the reason why people are moving out because people can't afford the taxes and insurance. Guys, listen, if you bought a house here as your primary residence, you have what's called a homestead exemption. That means that your property tax value your assessed value could only go up by 3% per year, and you get an automatic $50,000 off your assessed value. So if your house is appraised or assessed at $300,000, and then all of a sudden your home value goes from $300,000 to $500,000, your taxable value could only go to $309,000, because that's only a 3% increase. So your property taxes are not going to go up that much. Insurance, yes, has gone up, no question about it. But we also have no property tax, no personal property tax here, no state income tax here. So there's so many other ways that it's cheaper to live in Florida. The reason why people have moved out is the same reason why people have moved in, and that is because of politics. I think so many people have moved here obviously because they hate their liberal home state where they came from, and they came to experience Florida. Then all of a sudden their state got normalized, and maybe they didn't appreciate the Florida lifestyle. They didn't like being on the water. And if you don't really like the beach and you don't like being outdoors, that sort of thing, I can totally get why you maybe want to move back to wherever you came from. But even then, I think it's crazy. But that's why, because domestic migration has happened because of politics. And I think a lot of people moved out because of politics too. Maybe a lot of Democrats left, which is good riddance to them too. But that's why, guys. The domestic migration is the #1 reason why home prices have gone down and will continue to go down. As I totally get why what I just said may be very unpopular, maybe not the political thing, because I think in Sarasota I'm in good company here because we're solidly red here. But anyway, it is unpopular to say that home prices are going to go down, because then you're not creating that urgency to a buyer as if you have to push them into something, because that's something that if you're going to buy a house right now, okay, this is the #1 time to not be captivated by a sales pitch, okay? Latch onto an agent that's not timid and knows how to negotiate on your behalf, because you can get super burned right now. And I keep saying that over and over again, but I'm going to keep saying it. And if you plan on selling within the next 2 to 3 years, do not buy. Okay, you're never going to hear anybody else tell you that, but unless you're going to hang on to it for at least 5 to 7 years, you should not be buying. Okay, you should be renting. And that's a very unpopular thing, because real estate agents aren't supposed to tell you to rent. But guys, I'm telling you to do that, because I don't want to see anybody get in a position where they have to sell for whatever reason in 2 to 3 years. And let's say even if your property value doesn't go down at all, you still got to pay realtor commissions, you still got to pay title fees, you still got to pay grantor's taxes. So you're still going to be underwater, okay? Unless your property value goes up for whatever reason, and I just don't see that happening. And again, I'm going to say this again, guys, you're never going to hear anybody else tell you this, but I believe in speaking the truth, okay? And I'm going to keep speaking the truth. And guess what? Because I speak the truth, I get a lot of people that want to do business with me, because truth is what is lacking in the real estate industry more than anything. Have a good day.